Style.
Yo, what's up, stream? So you already know me, Sensei Keys. So today we got this guy here, King GDB. He
Yes,
had hit
sir.
me up on my YouTube comments after
Oh, yes.
my video that I had made about Andrew Tate. I got a lot of hate off of that video. I didn't really care though because those
Oh,
are
that's good.
usually guys that I don't really align with belief wise. But I mean, but he hit me up. He wanted to debate, and here we are, man. So
Here we
yeah,
are, chopping it up. But yeah, King GDB, here I am. I'm representing Not Your Average Joes. That's a podcast I do with
nice.
two of my other friends, Mr. Moose and the Duke. So we've been doing this for maybe like a year or so. Nothing too crazy, on and off, really, to be honest. But we're trying to be more consistent now.
Appreciate the
But
follow, my G.
yeah,
My
hey,
bad.
yeah, no. You gotta do what you gotta do in it. You gotta
Yeah.
represent. You gotta shout out the followers. You know what I mean? You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Can't look down on people. But yeah, nah. So just a quick backstory in who I am, my age. So I am 28 years old. I live in the UK, obviously in the West, same America, US, UK, pretty much same field. My background in education. So I have a degree in biological sciences, a master's in molecular medicine, and also I am in data science currently. I work in the financial industry in data science. So that is my field of expertise. So did my studies in, biology, chemistry, all that stuff. Spent maybe like 5 years doing that, working in the job, doing that. And then I transitioned to data science because I had a lot of experience with computers and coding. So I transitioned swiftly into that. And
Nice.
yeah, finance industry, here I am. And yourself?
Myself, like you said, I went to school for political science.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, what's funny? I wanted to pivot into tech as well, but you know what? I said, I actually don't want to do that. I want to fully focus on content creation. So that's where I'm at right now with it. I was like,
Smart man.
instead, I was just like, you know what? I want to put all my drive in something I really wanted to do. Because truth be
100%.
told, I really didn't want to go to school, but only did it because my mom wanted me to.
That
So
pressure.
I know, right?
I caved.
That's-
To be
so here
honest,
we are now with it.
that's the least you can do. She brought you on the earth. I give you the degree. I give you I achieved something, mom. I can get off my back.
Right,
That's
right.
brilliant. That's brilliant. So we're just gonna quickly start off so everyone understands our positions. So
Hey,
quickly just
everybody,
outline.
appreciate all the follows. I don't know what my bad, bro. I just got like 10 to 20 follows. I don't know what is going
Really?
on. Yeah.
That's brilliant, man. We love to hear it. We love to hear it.
It's just
Success in
I
the
don't know
black
what's going on.
community.
But all right, hey, my bad, man. Continue.
No. That's so good, man. So good. Oh, shout out your new followers whenever you get them in, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So let's just to understand our position. We're just gonna quickly outline our general opinions on Mr. Tate. So
Mhm.
starting with yourself, what is your general opinion
My
on Mr. Andrew from what
my
you've seen?
general opinion, like as general as it comes, I think
Mm-hmm.
that I think he is like a fake individual in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that I think he talks up to what's convenient from him, and I really felt that way after watching his final message video, because at first I thought he
Facts.
was true
Facts.
to his convictions, but then once I watched that video, I realized that I think he says what's convenient for him in the moment, and especially so after seeing what he did in his recent live stream post, I was going to say cancellation, because then he went back to his ways, you know.
Oh.
And so like I just think he is a character, but
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of characters online, so I don't have a problem with that. I have more so a problem with his fans who kind of see him as like a god. That's how I perceive them to see him.
God Tate.
Yes. So, but him
uh,
overall as well, I just feel like he just talks a lot of bullshit.
mhm.
Like there's moments he's
Mm,
all like he's a trillionaire, but I'm like, come on, there's no trillionaire in
obviously,
his. But I mean,
yeah.
obviously, like yeah, obviously that's not true. But the way he
Yeah, he's
talk it up
gassing
is
it.
like it's true, and like
He's
he's
gassing
like
it.
the big top guy. But I feel like there's layers
Mhm.
behind that he is perceiving to others.
Oh, 100%. Oh, that's a good breakdown, man.
Yeah.
So I would conclude myself with saying that Andrew Tate, in my opinion, is a very, very smart individual.
Okay, I can give him
The
that.
level
Yeah.
of success he has achieved. I've seen quite a lot of content from him. I watched all his shows, like the earlier shows that were advertised when he was a
Oh,
kid,
okay.
going on these travel shows abroad, and his
Mm-hmm.
character has been consistent to who he is today.
Mm-hmm.
In
Okay.
essence, he understands the situation. He always wants to win in the situation, and he has to put himself in the most favorable position to win.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been afraid to let it be known that he is playing a game or he's very calculated. And I respect that. But the fact you can just look people in the eye and say, look, I'm a calculated individual. Everything I do is calculated. I know what I'm doing and I thus planning it. So whenever he did the video, my final message,
Mm-hmm.
I was fully expecting that. It was well within, from what I've seen from him, it was well within his repertoire to pull out something like that because he knows the masses who come to Andrew Tate would not have the wealth of experience to understand him as an individual or have not watched him for a long period of time. So he would have to spin it in such a way as to, to dissect the information in a more palatable manner, unlike he does when he goes on the podcast and he's being more bombastic and being more, flamboyant with his delivery. And again, and most people understand that obviously, as you said yourself, he's obviously talking it up. He's bigging up the character. He's being more loud and more, obnoxious about his, achievements, even though he does feel like that. He's just being a bit extra with it, and he throws in a lot more jokes, like the whole "I'm a trillionaire" thing, which is obviously a lie.
Right.
But I think, in my opinion, I think he's, just to conclude, he's just a very smart individual. He knows what he's doing, and he's very calculating what he's doing, and I can respect that as an individual.
I mean, okay. For what it's worth, I could definitely agree with that, right? But it's like I think he's more so of a hypocrite because on one end he says, "I don't care about cancel culture. Cancel me. I don't give a fuck. I'll never die." And also says like he's not afraid of someone trying to come for his life. He has heavy guards surrounded by him. It's going to take a lot to get to him. And then in that final message video, he's obviously was trying to pull on heartstrings on certain people to look, I guess, uncancelable. Because I mean, he started off talking about how he grew up, he had a hard life, he was bullied.
Yeah,
he mentioned how he's a person of color, and then
marketing tactics. Yep.
He had a gay friend growing up. It's like
marketing tactics. Yep.
And then I see, and then, but like weeks prior, he talks like he is the big dog, and he doesn't care what people online say about him. Yeah, he uses these marketing tactics to garner, I guess, like favorability. So it kind of doesn't make sense to me.
I understand exactly.
I feel like he's going against what he preaches in a way because he's supposed to be preaching like being against the Matrix and caring about what others say about you, essentially, right? So,
no, I get that. I understand your position there, and I agree in part with that. But I would also like to state that he stated in his video, and to a degree, I feel like obviously he played it up, but he is in his messaging. He was being very I wouldn't say like he wasn't being himself, but he was praying a true message to what he feels inside, which is basically, I don't care about the death threats, but my family and my people I know, people who are in my circle, so let's say his mom or whatever, his sister or something like that, will probably get flack from him, and he wouldn't want those people in the crossfire. So if people were just targeting him, let's say people were just saying, I want to find Andrew Tate, I want to take care of Andrew Tate, I want to kill Andrew Tate, I think he would be less responsive to that in the way he did, in the fact that people are actually going after family members. So if someone was to come to him directly, he would be more on par with it, just saying, you know what, it is what it is. I knew people would hate me, whatever.
And I get that. That's fair. But my question would be, who knows about his family? Like, who will be going after his mom? He's
spoken about this.
I mean, I know he spoke about it, but I'm like, how would anybody find out about this? I mean, I guess maybe it's not too hard.
They know where he lives. Yeah.
I personally don't believe that is the case, especially when his opposition or people who don't agree with him are typically what he would like to call is soy boys. I mean, I feel like the soy boys are not going out of their way to
they wouldn't
send death threats to his mom, so that's where I just feel like, especially just again in that video, I just feel like he just kind of says things for
The sympathy, yes.
sympathy, yeah, which is again, I feel
Yes.
like everything that he's been preaching about.
See, I think both are true because one, he's saying for sympathy, but he's being honest. But at the same time, he's using that honesty to spin the narrative that he wants to spin and get the outcome he wants to get. Because before that, I'm assuming he did not have the Rumble deal
Right.
to then come back as the
Yeah.
bombastic Andrew Tate. But once the Rumble deal went through,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he got that Rumble money, he was
Right.
like, okay, F the people. I said what
See,
I said in my final message, but
that's exactly my point, though. You know.
no, you're right. But it's just a marketing tactic. He was covering all his bases, and in my mind, I'm thinking he's a smart man because he's covering all his bases. Because if that Rumble money didn't come through, he would have stuck on that final message and gone that route. But since the Rumble money came through, he said, "You know what? I can pivot. My fans will not stop being my fans because I pivoted. Obviously, I might lose a few people along the way, but overall, I make more money doing this way." So again, he's a businessman at the end of the day. So he's trying to make money. And if he's trying to make money, he's doing a very successful job at it. And whether people like it or not, he is good at what he does, which is marketing.
Okay. Well, so then let me ask you this then. What about him do you like or do you think is good besides like the marketing? I get that. I could definitely agree he's a good marketer and a genius in that sense that works towards his favor. But what of his message do you
the message spreads? Since I've listened to the majority of Andrew Tate's message, and I've seen a plethora of his content. I have obviously, as you get to know people, you kind of know when they're joking, when they're not joking, when they're being serious, when they're not being serious. And from watching his content, I can tell his overall message is basically become the individual you want to become and curate your life the way you want it to be. So if you want to be the person who goes to church every Sunday, gets married to one woman and is truly happy with that one woman, and you have the wealth required to make her life easy and for you to travel the world and have a good life and have fun, he is happy for you to have that. If you want to be the guy who wants his lifestyle of having the Lamborghinis, the models and all this stuff, having all the girls, don't be lazy and just say, you know what, it's too hard, and not achieve that for yourself if that is truly what you want. So follow your heart to the path you want, but don't be lazy about it. Most people want to achieve goals but don't actually do the things necessary to get to those goals. They say, oh, I wish I could be this, or I want to be this, but never actually put plans in place to get them to that point. And that is his message. Speed and action.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? So one of his messages that seems pretty prominent is he feels like there are basically like gender roles amongst 100%. The relationship, right? And then he feels like if a guy is making money, tons of money, he is allowed to basically like cheat and get other bitches, and a woman's supposed to like stay home and maybe take care of the kids, cook and clean, those traditional roles. But my thing is, like, we're in the 21st century, man. Like,
100%, yes. 100%.
Like, so it's like that's not going to work for like 98% of men. Even when 100% men got a lot of money in like in his case, right?
Yeah.
But what he does is, which I feel like is pretty harmful, is manipulation, because even in a podcast, right, he said that he doesn't date women over the age of 25. And I mean, he's 35 himself.
He doesn't take them seriously. Yeah.
And it's just like, so he dates women in this age range of like 18 to 25 who pretty much doesn't have anything going for themselves, which I don't know why any man would want that from a woman. Me personally, I like an independent type of woman, a woman who could do good on her own, because to me, a woman who is completely feeding and provide, like, just like receiving things off of me is a leech. Me personally.
But why do you see that as being a leech?
Because it's like I personally like,
if they truly love you and respect you.
And I mean, they could love me and respect me. I just like a strong-willed woman, and I feel like a woman who is 100% submissive is not strong-willed, and I feel like that would be an annoyance to me. That's me personally. I like a woman who can have her own a bit, because
That's
then
fair.
I don't want to be anyone's daddy. And I think that's kind of like what he likes to lean towards, because he obviously likes to be in control in a way, but it's to a point to where it just seems very controlling, especially when he had these like 40 women working for him in this cam service, because
70 plus.
well, so even more than I thought. 70 women at one point working, and he explained how he got them to do so. So first he would make them his girlfriend, and then he will fly them out to him, and then he will have them dinner, and he's like, all right, look, so this is what's going to happen.
Not all, but FFU.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say, I mean, if you get to 70, at some point they know what's going on, right? Before, but like, I feel like it's rooted in manipulation, because basically what he does is, people act like you have to be a bad guy to be a pimp, but no, pimps are really smooth operators in the sense of things. And I think he was really being a pimp by whining and dining the woman down, promising a lifestyle, and then he tells them eventually, like, they're going to be on these cam services working like 16 plus hours a week, which is like slavery, and then he takes like most of the funds, and then they keep like whatever they can, but at the same time they probably can't do shit without his like green lighting it, right? And it's like, so that of course, so when he says he likes women like 18 to 25, of course it makes sense to me, because these are women who are not able to be in a position or in a mind state to realize like it's kind of lame of a lifestyle, and he's just really just trying to be controlling, and he's being a pimp in a way. So like when I think of stuff like that, I just think he's like a bad person overall. Right?
So do you not think that the average individual in their day-to-day lives manipulates other people to the benefit of themselves or to the benefit of the group?
No, I don't think so. I don't think people should, at least. I think people should just be true to themselves and not like change who they are to fit a situation. That's how I feel like you should be, because then you're just never being genuine, and you're just kind of again, you're changing who you are to fit in certain doors.
No, it's not changing, because he's not changing who he is. He's basically, again, he's using his natural talents, which is having a way with women, and basically making a win-win situation for both people. They make loads of money, he makes loads of money, everybody wins. So if you think about it again, like, this is how I like to think about it. If you actually look at like the word manipulate, it just means handling something in a skillful manner, or having a way. People put this negative connotation on the word manipulation, but in essence, we all manipulate to an extent, trying to convince someone of something. Sometimes people might use, what they call manipulation to convince people of something. Convincing someone of something is like a form of manipulation. Try to get them to your position. You have to do something to convince them, to get them to think the way you think. If you want people, again, like, it's hard to say what is manipulation, because at the end of the day, if someone is a grown adult and have the capabilities, again, this is the thing, this is why it's a slippery slope with the whole manipulation thing. If he's detailing to the ladies, like, look, I know you love me, this and the other, obviously he gets them to fall in love with him, so there's a higher likelihood of investment. Again, that is obviously him trying to make a foolproof plan. How you look at that, again, as you said, subjectively it could be bad, but if they're both winning and both benefit from the situation, the girl gets the love and affection and all this other stuff, and she also gets money on top of that, earns money, and again, is that a completely negative sum equation, or is it like a, well, I don't know how to quantify this.
They're adults, so again, and it's not like he's doing it against their will. So if she makes her own decision, in that sense, it's not the most wrong thing in the world, but to me, it's the whole manipulation of it, because again, a woman of like the age of 30 is not going to go along with that. It's just not going to happen. And that's why, he says, like, when, again, speaking back to, he doesn't want a woman over the age of 25. He's like, oh, they've been ran through by so many men. They've encountered these situations. They've already been damaged or whatever.
Is that like an erroneous statement, or is that accurate statement?
Define erroneous. I don't know what erroneous
means. Like it is like he's speaking in error. Like, that statement is not correct. So if you take the same woman let's look at one woman. To take one woman at the age of 20 and take that same woman at the age of 30, what are the odds that woman has less trauma at 30 than 20?
I think everybody see, and that's where these type of talking points throw me off, or it really gets to me because I feel like everybody's individualistic.
Yeah.
So I mean, like someone who is 18 can be completely damaged and had like the most horrible growing up, compared to someone who is 30 who just had an easier life. It all depends on the individual overall,
That's true.
and even
But
if
generally
so,
speaking,
yeah, and even if so, me personally, I would rather have someone who's been through life situations than
see, that's true.
basically dealing with a child. I'm 25 years old. I cannot deal with anyone even under the age of 21 who's like not even able to like legally drink because like when I'm
Oh yeah,
around
in
some
America, yeah.
yeah, or even like I guess for y'all was it 19?
No, it's 18.
18. Oh, okay. But it's like
Yeah.
when I'm around someone who's like or under the age of 21, I can see the immaturity in them, and it
Mm-hmm.
irks me. Me who's rather deal with someone who's more independent, who's more uh just like more of a smart individual.
Mm-hmm.
Just being around a younger person, it just doesn't even feel right in my soul because it just doesn't align with me. So I don't know how someone who's like
Oh,
35
oh,
could
that's
really.
just a oh, okay. So that's just a personal.
I mean, it's personal, but again, I feel like he
So do you think
targets
the
this
do you think the
age range
majority
because
thinks
it
the
works
same
for
way?
his. Yes. Well, at least I feel like mature adults, yeah, because again, I mean, I don't know, 'cause men be creepy because I feel like him is rooted in, his stuff is rooted in creepiness, man, because it's easier to manipulate someone in that age range than someone who is of the age of
See,
30.
this is the thing. People always take it to the negative connotation. I
Yeah.
don't know why they always take the negative connotation because again, it could also be some positive. Because imagine, let's put it this way, yeah. In today's day and age, women obviously liberated. They like to go around, have sex with everyone. Da, 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 da. Not most women, but some are more liberated than others. A large proportion of women are more sexually liberated today than they were 30 years ago.
For sure.
So in that case, we see more women these days with problems than they were 30 years ago. More women reporting more mental instabilities, more women on antidepressants, more women on pills, more women going through trauma as a result of being with so many men. Let's say they get with a guy and the guy knows that she's been with another guy that he knows. He just sleeps with her, forgets about her. She wants to really invest, and then she gets damage off that. She gets pushback. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if you take that same woman, the odds of one woman at 20 having less trauma than she has at 30 is nigh almost impossible in the day and age we live today, because there's so much going on in today's world. She might be more guarded, which might come off as more confident, but it does not mean that she's more, confident in herself. It might just mean she's putting up a bigger barrier.
Okay, let's say even what you're saying is true, right? Let's say that is fact. What someone like a Tate is doing is trying to be the first one to cause that trauma instead of because then there's someone who's already dealt with trauma, they can see the warning signs. Because come on, what he is doing is causing a cycle of trauma.
No,
yeah.
he was on what was the podcast he said that on? It was the Nelk Boys, and he said he wants to get to that girl before the damage has been done, so he can set her on the right path. That's what he said.
He's gonna be the first one to cause damage. Pink Scales, thanks for the fucking sub, my G. But yeah,
thank you for the sub for Sensei. Thank you. But yeah, no, for real. No. Like he said himself that he is trying to make sure that he's not gonna make them do anything bad or anything, illegal. He's just saying, like, look, I'm gonna set you on the right path in life, so you don't have to deal with the BS, so you don't have to come damaged. Because I have dealt with females, ladies, women who have been damaged before, and I tell you now, when let's say you're hanging out with a girl, yeah, everything's going well, and then I don't know where she starts breaking down, she's crying, and you're like, what happened? I don't even know what happened. And she's like, oh, just a memory of something that happened to me in the past. This situation is just making me feel a bit uneasy. Like, it's just a whole lot of headache. Whereas if you get a girl who is less burdened with trauma, she's more likely to be like, you know what? Oh, just go have fun. It's not a big deal. It's not this heavy weight on her shoulders. It's not, oh, are you a bad man? Are you a this, that? Are you a this? You know what I'm saying? It's easier. It's an easier process than someone who is been hurt before. They're guarded. They make you jump through more hoops. They make you do more things. You see what I'm saying? It's just, again, it depends what you want as a human being. If you as a man want to live life on your own terms, and you want someone who is a life partner and who will help you on your journey, in the sense that if you win, they win, you provide for them, obviously you're going to want someone who is more submissive, and you'd find that in someone who is younger. Older women are more set in their ways. So if you're looking again as for yourself, you're probably looking for a equal life partner, someone on the same wavelength as you, then you want to find that older person who aligns with you. But I think there's nothing wrong in someone wanting someone who is younger. At the same time, there's nothing wrong with someone wanting someone who is their life partner. If that person can provide a lifestyle and provide for that person without leading them down the wrong path, then, fair play to everyone.
But I mean, he's doing that with having like 60 to 70 other women around, like you were saying. Like,
well, that was back then.
Well, yeah, that's back then. But even now, is he monogamous?
No. He said he would want to have. He said give him four girls who are loyal, and that's all he needs. He could do away with all the rest.
Okay, so
he's just looking for four.
So here's the thing with what you're saying, though, right? Oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. So, but with that, right? Dealing with younger, it's not going to really change anything. I think what these guys want someone who, again, is not on the same mindset as them, so they can try to mold into their perfect woman. Because a woman who is older, and let's say a woman who has went through trauma and bad experience, they can see red flags. They can see the signs. And no matter how rich a man is and what a stature of a man is at this current time, if a woman is in the slightest bit independent of a woman and is strong-willed in her own way, then a guy tells her, even if he's mega rich, like, "Oh, you're gonna be my fourth lady," she's not gonna go for that. And
but you don't see the dichotomy in that,
huh?
Because if you look at most men, most men can't handle. Not even I say can't handle. They find it hard, especially in today's day and age, to manage a relationship with like a strong woman. Most men would find that hard. It would not be an easy ride for most men, where you're trying to say, "Hey, babe, let's do this," and she's like, "No, I don't want to do that. We have to do this. We have to do this." It's always her way or the highway. That man gets slowly pushed down. He gets depressed. Like, it's not a good. No one wins. She's unhappy with the man she's with. He's unhappy because he can't, move the way he wants to in the relationship or dictate any terms. It seems like again, for majority of people, a lose-lose. A lot of people are being in sexless marriages. A lot of people are divorced, like 47% divorce rate. Like that's
divorce
mad.
Like 50%.
But then if you're rich, the divorce rate drops down to like 20%.
Yeah, probably. They're probably more likely. Some women are more likely to deal with
it.
You
see what I'm saying?
But also, rich men are probably more likely to be. I don't know the stats. They're probably a lot likely to be cheated on as well, especially when they tend to have that. Maybe. It's especially when, and I see all the time, when a man typically tries to have that controlling mindset, no matter what their status of income is. A woman, either she may even deal with it on a surface level, but deep down, a woman's going to really hate that shit. And this is why a lot of women also cheat. And now back to your first statement as well. We're dealing with a woman who doesn't want to do this and that. Well, again, we're in the 21st century, so there's a lot of things that women are just not going to go for. And a relationship is about, I would say, it's not like a contract. What's the word I'm looking for?
It is a contract.
I honestly wouldn't say that. If you marriage, marriage is a contract. But like a relationship is more about compromise and having agreements. Like if a guy can have multiple women, that should be agreed upon with him and his lady beforehand. Instead of like, hey, I'm going to have multiple girls. It's something they would have to agree upon, and that's how a relationship is supposed to be setting boundaries. So if a boundary isn't set, of course a woman isn't going to be going for it. But because again, it's the 21st century. Women don't like to be controlled.
No, 100%.
Appreciate it, hello ones.
A lot of women, do not like to get controlled. Yes, but again, it depends. Like, it depends what type of guy you are and what you're looking for. As you said, a lot of women these days don't want to be controlled. They're more independent. Again, it becomes the high value. So the high value women are the ones that are more, submissive, per se. No, again, no guy. Which one is worse for you? A girl who's overly controlling or a girl who's overly submissive? Which one is worse? Which is the worst outcome?
I'm
They're
not
both
dealing
really
with
bad.
I'm about to say I'm not dealing with either. But I
But
mean,
which
if
one
I
is the
had to
which one is
choose,
the which one is the worst girl? If you had to pick one.
I mean, like me personally, I'm not gonna let anyone to be over controlling to me. So I guess I can say that would be the worst one. If I were to answer your question, that would be the worst one. But
Yes. And the thing is,
overly submissive women are very annoying to me though. Like,
but the thing is with the overly,
I don't like you to be under my wing like that. Like, I need a
You don't
woman to
want
have
lead?
her own.
You don't want to
I'm
lead?
but see,
Are you Christian?
yeah, I'm Christian. But see, this is where
You don't want to lead?
no, see, this is where y'all get it misconstrued.
You're losing me, bro.
I can still lead, but I will also like a woman to have her own free will and her own mind and own line of thinking. Because me personally, it's annoying to have someone under me 24/7. I need us to have our own space. I need us to have our own line of thinking. I need more of a partner. There's going to be a lot of times where I'll look to my woman and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Get her advice instead of just going straight for like I'm just going to do this.
No, that's perfectly fine. But again, if you let's say again, I think the situation for these two different guys. So we're talking obviously on the more like general regular guy, you know. But in terms of like when you're at that level of the Andrew Tates or whatever, your life is set. You have everything in order. You have the money to make any life you see fit, possible. So when you're at that level and you've curated your own life to that extent where you have the money, infinite money that just falls from the sky, you can obviously curate your lifestyle the way you want to see fit. You don't need to run things by anyone because unless let's say it's a holiday, you say, hey babe, do you want to go to Maldives or Fiji? Where do you want to go? Maybe that's the thing you can run by your girl. But apart from that, like what else would you can't be running business ideas by your girl because you already know
you can.
what makes money. No, but you already know what makes money.
But so look at Jeff Bezos. Apparently that's why his ex-wife,
bro.
Yeah, but see, this is what people don't talk about though. His ex-wife helped him start Amazon. She helped him in a major way, which is why he was willing to give half his wealth. I mean, he's the world's richest man, so of course he's going to do that. But
I think you misunderstood what I was the point I was going for. It was more the fact that if imagine Jeff Bezos was self-made to the billionaire point, and then he got married.
Oh, okay.
Then he would not need someone to tell him how to make more money because he already knows what to do. At that point, it's a non-factor. Because if you can make billions of dollars, what's an extra 100,000 a year? Like that makes no difference in your life. So
I mean, me personally, I would still like if I was at that point, I would like a woman who is very intelligent to help me get to the next level instead of just a trophy wife who's just going to stay home and like water the grass all day.
So if I understand this straight, so you would like a woman who is more cooperative. You discuss ideas with her, but you ultimately have the final deciding point on saying this is what we're gonna do.
Oh no, it'll be a we thing, both of us.
But there will be points where someone has to make the decision. It can't be both of us all the time. Someone has to give in at some point.
No, man, like. That's what a relationship is. Like y'all make decisions together. Like
no, I know this, but someone has to be the final concluder. So let's say you were both stuck on a point. Let's say you had a child. You had one slot to allow them to do an extracurricular activity. You say the child should play American football, and your wife says the child should play piano. There's no way they could do both. How would you conclude what the child does?
Let's see what the child want to do.
What if the child says, I'm good with anything? You guys decide. I like them both equally.
Hey, in piano, you're not getting concussions. I'll go with piano.
You said piano, yeah?
I would go with the more logical thing. Now, again, it's not like, in relationships, though, discussions are going to be had. And
100%, yeah.
And I don't think it will ever be a stalemate. At some point, someone's going to have to make a compromise. I think Andrew Tate wants the guy where he goes, he's more the type of guy to go, no, bitch, he's going to play football. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
I don't like that. Like that's old thinking. I mean, then that's his way. That's fine. But I think for a lot of guys, I feel like that is bad teachings because that's not going to help these young guys it's setting up unrealistic expectations for these young guys, and that's why I don't really like his messaging. Because especially most of these guys are not as rich as Andrew Tate, so they don't have that type of leverage.
No,
right?
But you don't.
Even though he's trying to teach them to be right.
No, but
even though he's
this is the thing people don't understand. You don't have to be rich to have boundaries and have your set ways. Like
that's not boundaries though. That's just being controlling, which is again,
which is why
so these guys get cheated on. This is why women don't like these guys.
Would you say they're insecure?
The guys or the women?
Those type of guys. Would you say they're insecure?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
But what is the definition of insecure?
Insecure is just not, for one. Okay, so I think actually, so let's say it like this. I think a lot of manosphere red pill guys are insecure in a way because I mean, for one, they're looking for something, they're looking for improvement, and I think that's okay. But what they do is idolize guys like Andrew Tate, and I know there's the red pill thing, there's the manosphere, and then there's the alpha male whole speakings. I think these guys want to be alpha male, but they become so beta because they idolize someone who could be perceived as an alpha male, such as an Andrew Tate. Because again, these guys typically look for Andrew Tate when they're probably in their lowest moments, trying to improve themselves. Nothing wrong with trying to improve themselves. But where they fuck up is when they think these teachings can really apply to them and are absolute. And then it's okay again, and it's okay to try to have your boundaries and your beliefs when you go out into the real world. But then they get mad when women don't want to align with those views and they can't get women. So it's like you can't have it both ways. You can't think you're going to be some type of alpha male and be like, no, bitch, this kid is going to play football and a woman's going to be okay with that in this day and age because women are self-sufficient now these days.
Yep, the average guy,
more likely than none. So like these guys are not going to find those type of women.
No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. For the average guy, but this is what I'm saying. Like the average guy could. This is the thing that I think that goes over people's heads with Tate in terms of like lifestyle and all this kind of stuff. Sure, let's say the average woman who you want to marry, let's say a 7 on terms of looks. You know, she's good looking, or a 6. She's good looking. You know, not the best looking person ever, but you know, she's in your league per se, and you're able to lock down this woman, you know, and have that mutual relationship. What Andrew's basically saying is you can still live the kind of life you want to live, even at that level. You don't earn as much as him if you curate your lifestyle the right way. So if, let's say, you go into these relationships, again, insecure is someone who is not firm or fixed. That's one of the means of insecure, something that's not firm or fixed. So people who are uncertain and anxious about things, they're not confident. So in terms of that, if you are secure, it means you are fixed, you are firm, you know what you tolerate, you know what you don't tolerate, you know the boundaries in which you live, you know your path in life, you know this is what I'm going to do, this is the stuff I need to do, this is the stuff I can tolerate, this is the stuff I can't tolerate. So if you have those boundaries set in place, what most men do, which is a problem, is they say, I allow my girl to do anything. She can do what she wants. She's strong. She thinks for herself. She can do this. She can do that. She can do this. She can do this. That is not secure in itself.
Yeah, I do that. That's secure. That's very secure.
No, again, it does not go by the definition of secure. So we might have to find a different word to use, but it's definitely not secure. You might be secure that you feel like she won't do anything wrong.
Right, yeah.
But you still have your boundaries at some point.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
this is what I'm saying.
Like, okay, I have a girlfriend. My girl could do whatever she wants that she sees fit, right? I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for? She's not my property. She is her own individualistic person. But from the boundaries that we've set, if she goes out and fuck another guy, that's the end of our relationship. Now, I'm not going to be sitting here on her ass like, you absolutely cannot fuck another guy. But if I find out she fucks another guy, which she does on her own, because she is not my property, she is her own person, that would be the 100%. End of our relationship. 100%. But that's from the boundaries that we have set.
100%. But some other guys might just have more stringent boundaries on their relationships. And that is okay for a girl not to want to get into a relationship with that guy. But if she decides to get into a relationship with that guy, knowing those boundaries, that is her problem, not the guy. That's her problem, not the guy. If he says, look, I don't want, the girl I date doesn't go to the club. and she says, "Cool, I don't want to go to the club. I want to be your girl." She's agreed to those terms and conditions for that relationship.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
people calling that guy, "Oh, you're insecure for not letting you go to the club." It's not insecure. That's just his boundaries.
Okay, but my thing is the manosphere guys and like the I don't even know what to classify all these type of guys. Manosphere, alpha male,
Just say
red
red
pill,
pill. Just
red
say
pill.
red
Okay,
pill.
so the red pill
Yeah.
guys, right? The thing is, these guys get mad or they think there's an attack on masculinity, and they feel like women are not aligning with their beliefs. And that's why they are, following a guy like Andrew Tate so they can figure out how to like get these women or how to better improve themselves so they think they could get women. But
Get
then when
women
they
like
go out to try to get these women and then these women set these boundaries, they be like, what the fuck? These women are whores, these women are dumb, and they say all this bullshit because
see, that's the problem.
that's where I think
that's the problem. That's the
yeah.
problem on their part, on the fans' part.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Andrew sure as hell is not telling them to go out and say that's stupid. These people are this, that, and the other. He ain't telling them to do that. There's no point at which he's going around telling guys to you have to degrade these girls. You have to make sure they understand that they're the dirt beneath our feet. Like he's not doing none of that. He's just saying, look, what Andrew Tate has just done is basically shown his life and said, this is how I live my life. These are the boundaries I have in my life. These are the things I have set up in my life to allow me to perform the best I can. And the women who come into my life understand these rules and regulations, and they choose to do so for the great benefit. Again, this is like, if I had to like quantify this, it's like everybody, the world needs balance.
Yeah.
So for a guy, let's say for a woman getting with an average guy, a more average guy, she might not get the money fulfillment that she might have always wanted. She might not get that, those trips to Fiji 3-4 times a year that she always wanted.
Right.
But she gets loyalty from that guy. She gets, commitment.
Sometimes.
she gets,
I mean,
see,
and that's where it's like things aren't so black and white.
Yeah, some of them cheat, but a lot of them cheat. A lot of guys cheat anyway. So, but I'm just trying to give the average guys, because they're gonna be more willing to keep that girl because most guys don't have the ability to get another chick like that. They don't. We can just sit here and call that out. Most guys don't have the ability to sit there and say, look, today's Thursday. I want to bang. I know this girl, she's gonna be willing to bang me today. And then the next day they're like, I'm feeling kind of like banging a blonde girl. Let me go get a blonde girl. Most guys can't do that. They can't replace actively. So they're always in the mindset of scarcity. They're always thinking, I don't want to lose this girl, so maybe I shouldn't do this because I might lose her. So in that sense, they're gonna be more willing to be more loyal. But if you look at it from the alpha guy or the guy who has all the money, the balance comes, the woman gets all this financial abundance, gets to get all the stuff she wants. She gets to go on holidays with this guy, travel the world with this guy. But the drawback to that is the guy might step up here and there if he's going on a business trip or whatnot. So again, both situations have the positives and negatives, but at the end of the day, both situations end up balanced. So it just depends on what the woman is willing to tolerate and what lifestyle she wants. And again,
there's not to say that a woman would even tolerate that, even with a rich guy. That's the thing. Or maybe they may stay, but they cheat.
But they're more likely to tolerate it.
I don't know. I think it's also about the boundaries that are being set.
But they're more like
okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'll just say,
you have to agree on this point that they're more likely to tolerate a bit of bad behavior. Because if you look at it, not all guys who are millionaires or earning that much money are like the best men in the world. Right. So if the divorce rate has dropped when people have money, or when like the man is like the major breadwinner and has all this money, then you have to kind of bring it back and say, okay, so the women are willing to tolerate a bit more, because I'm sure these men are not cheating less than the average guy. They're probably cheating around the same amount as the average guy. But the women are staying longer, so you might assume that they tolerate more.
Again, I still think it's all individualistic, right?
It is, but we have to kind of generalize it so we can look at the larger scope.
See, I hate generalizations, man.
But that's where your problem lies, because I'm a scientist at heart. I did science for 8 years of my life. So for me, generalities is how the world operates. When I do a study, I'm not looking for the 0.05% that's the outlier, the 5% that's the outlier. I'm looking at the 95%. If the study is 95% accurate and there's that 0.5% outlier, I know that study is valid and accurate. I can use that study and publish that study so other people can replicate my findings and probably find the same data points.
Okay, so imagine this scenario, since we be throwing out scenarios. Imagine you get a girl now, right? Or if you maybe have a girl now, and y'all boundaries are currently you cannot cheat. It's a monogamous relationship, 100%. Whatever. Mm-hmm. 2 years down the road, you become ridiculously rich, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Oh. And so now you talk to her, maybe you want to change the boundaries up. Like, hey, I got this money, you got financial security. Yeah. I might sleep around with other women. And what if she goes, no, I'm not having that.
Bye. What? What? What do you mean? This is the thing. Like, if let's say if she helped me make that money, I'll give her piece. I'll say, look, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life because you helped me make this money. If she was really like a pivotal part of me making that money, I'll say, look, this is something I want for myself. I feel like I'm in a position to ask for this because I've given us great wealth. Or if we made it together, I can say, look, we can split the company half and half. You take your wealth, I take my wealth, and I can go do my shenanigans over there. And that's us. That's a fair trade. She gets to know the truth. I get to move on and have my fun. She gets to move on and, buy a dog and die alone. I'm joking.
But you see how that was more so of a choice, though. Like
that is a choice, yeah. Everything is a choice.
An agreement between the two. That's I think y'all think things or act like things are more black and white than what they really are.
No, obviously they're not black and white. It's shades of gray. But you have to in those shades of gray, there is things that stand out in those shades of gray. So you have to always look at where the majority lies, the greater data lies. Like if we look at the whole world in general, the majority of the world has traditional views. We cannot sit here and lie to ourselves that the majority of the world doesn't have traditional views. The majority.
See, this is where I would say you're wrong. And
what the hell?
And then this is why the red pill guys have a problem, and this is why y'all are so adamant right now and following guys like Andrew Tate, because y'all are saying masculinity and traditionalism is falling off. Would you agree to that or no?
See, I would say in the West, masculinity is getting suppressed, not falling off in a sense. Like I just think it's getting suppressed. I don't know what falling off means. Like there's less.
I've been hearing this a lot. I'm so glad you mentioned this. I've been wanting to talk about how is it being suppressed? How?
Yes. Yes, exactly. So let me just break it down from point one. Basically, just the whole movement of men are toxic. Men being themselves or expressing their opinions or saying things that men generally say is now considered toxic. If I say I want to have 5 girlfriends, now I'm toxic. You see what I'm saying? If I want to have 5 girlfriends, now I'm toxic. But if a girl says she wants to have 5 dudes run through her, it's cool.
See, and this is where I'm great. I think you guys are, I would say, stuck in what I would say the Twitter sphere, Twitter bubble. Just because y'all may see a couple women online, a couple thousand women online say men aren't shit. Yes, wanting 5 people at once, I guess you could say toxic, but again, if that's what you want, that's what you want. I think people should have whatever they want if the boundaries are set that way.
Just look at the whole Tate situation.
But if either man or woman says if they want 5 people at once, that's not a problem if that is established. But I think the red pill guys see one woman say that is but not maybe not a group of women being like y'all are disgusting, that is sick. And y'all take it as law, and that's like the norm of what people are going to be feeling overall. I think it's just how people are feeling online, and y'all are just seeing in mass because that's how these social media companies are built. You kind of see things through algorithm. I don't think there's any attack on masculinity. I'm a masculine man. I'm not a red pill man. I'm a progressive man. So, but I don't think there's any attack on masculinity. There was a woman who was just in here saying she's been married with her husband for a while, and she loves Andrew Tate's talking or whatever. And it's not even just when it comes to Andrew Tate. again, what is ever set through the boundaries of a relationship, however people see fit, I think it's fine. I think these red pill people look too much on outside instances instead of looking more so within. They care too much about, like, I guess, like abortion rights or what a OnlyFans woman wants to do with her body by herself, or
Yeah, see, no, but that's
what
the
a woman
thing.
is saying online. I'm listening.
That's the thing. They don't care about what those women do. What they care about is those women complaining that they're not getting the results when they're doing things that do not give them the results they want. That's the problem. The problem is not the women doing what they want. The problem is the women saying men ain't shit because they can't catch a man because they do OnlyFans, and they want men to accept the fact that they do OnlyFans. That's the problem. It's like,
there's nothing wrong with a woman doing OnlyFans.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with it. But if she's not, again, it's like this. If you see that 1 + 1 is 2, but you want 1 + 1 to be 3, you can't complain when you can't keep saying, look, it has to be 3, make it 3. It's 2. It's 2. There's some men who accept that lifestyle, that OnlyFans lifestyle, but there's not a lot of those men. The majority of men will not accept an OnlyFans girl. Low value men, yes, who do not have any choice and are limited, but those women don't even want those guys anyway.
Is Adam 22 a low value man?
No, he's not a low value man.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys, but the majority of guys, there's not many Andrew 22s walking around. That's what I'm saying. The majority of the men who make big bucks, big money, because OnlyFans girls be raking it up. They be making money, let's not lie. They're rolling in bread. The majority of those guys who make money are not making money through sex work or through entertaining or through this stuff. They're making money through hardcore business. The majority of men who are successful make money through business. And those men...
And the same for women.
I understand this, but we're talking about OnlyFans girls, so let's not jump this to OnlyFans girls. Let's stick with it. To the business women.
Well, you just said majority, so I was like, majority of women are not doing OnlyFans. No.
The majority of men... You were talking about, so let's just go back. Let's roll back.
Okay, let's roll back.
In the semantics. Yeah. So basically, we were talking about how OnlyFans girls, men want to change OnlyFans girls or whatever. And I'm saying, or the red pill men. And I'm saying they don't want to change those women.
Okay.
They just want those women to stop complaining that they can't find a guy when they do what they do. And I'm saying those OnlyFans women, because we're still talking about OnlyFans women, those women earn a lot of money. And as we know, most women do not want to date down. They want to date across or up. And most men who earn good livings earn it off business. Women too, but those OnlyFans girls are also competing with those other business women to get those good men. So those good men are less likely, who are in business and involved in business, to turn up to a corporate meeting, corporate business event with the OnlyFans chick, for all the other guys to be saying, oh, I think I saw her on OnlyFans. They would rather, as you said, pick another businesswoman, in that realm to represent them, because they put up a good image of them as they are representative of them. Your partner is a representation of who you are as a person. What you tolerate around you is a representation of you. So if these men were to take these OnlyFans girls, they would lose credibility within their spheres. So we just don't want the OnlyFans girls to complain about not finding guys when they do the things they do, because the men they're competing for against all women and women who own business as well, which are the majority as well. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. But my thing is, I think you guys care too much about what other people feel. Like, so what if a woman says she can't find a man if she's an OnlyFans woman? I've never seen an OnlyFans woman complain, me personally, because I don't think they give a fuck. I think they know what comes with the job. But if a woman is complaining, because
that's the thing.
But if a woman is complaining that she can't get a man while she's doing OnlyFans, who cares?
Yeah. Again, they care. That's the thing. They care.
Yeah, but why does
care? But then they bring it to men and say men ain't shit. Like we've done something wrong.
You're going to have to show me an OnlyFans woman saying men are shit for not dating her while doing OnlyFans, because I think a woman who does that knows that not a lot of men would want to date them while in that situation.
That's the problem.
Or they
Most
can't.
Women don't, because they feel like
I don't think
they
that's
deserve
the case,
that. I'm telling you. Oh my
I think there may be a couple anomalies, but overall, I don't think that's the case.
I feel like Anyway, we can
I
leave
agree to
this
that.
point.
Pip name slip back. Right, no.
Andrew Tate's message is only relevant to about 0%. No, it's not. But this is the thing. A pimp named Slickback. Actually, I like this dude. He's funny. A pimp named Boondocks.
Yeah.
So the thing is, let me just answer this real quick. Andrew Tate's message is not only relevant to 0.01% of individuals. It's relevant to everyone because everyone can improve themselves. Everyone can try and make the best of their life, whether it's being the best in your office, whether it's being the best in your country, whether it's being the best in your county, in your village. You can always try and do better. That's literally the message. The message is don't be lazy. Fundamentally,
like,
if you boil it down, it's don't be lazy. With your
like
life,
that's chatter though.
dating,
Anybody can say that. Who doesn't
but it's
say
simple.
that?
But that's
who
why
doesn't?
it's so.
Who doesn't say that?
But that's why it's so absurd that he's getting cancelled for basically saying simple stuff like this and then peppering it with his own life experience of saying, this is what I like from women. This is what I do with my women. And
I mean, he says shit like, if there's a male pilot or a woman pilot, I want the male pilot to fly the plane. But no, what you should want is the better pilot, no matter if that's woman or man.
But again, you have to look at how he uses
That's why he got canceled. That's the type of shit that he said that got him canceled.
But you have to see how he's using this, though. The way when he explained,
you explain that for me. Yeah, go ahead.
When he compounded on this further, this is the scenario he uses. Yeah, when he spoke, because he's spoken about this quite a few times. He always says, "Look, if you had to go in blind, not knowing who the pilot's going to be, you don't know if it's male or let's say you don't know their skill level, you don't know who's better or who's worse. Would you want a woman or a man? That's the scenario he poses to people. You don't know who's better or who's worse. You have to pick one based on gender.
That's rooted in sexism.
But listen to this.
That's sexism.
No, but listen. No.
That's literally.
If you look, let me just land this plane.
Okay.
If you look at the data and statistics, yeah, there is more male pilots out there than female pilots.
Yeah, for sure.
So on statistics, like looking at pure statistics, the likelihood of you catching a more experienced male pilot is higher.
No.
So
just because a woman, if there's a male pilot, there's a woman pilot. Just seeing a male and a woman pilot, just because there's more male pilots, that doesn't determine the male and the woman pilot's experience.
Yes, but this is the thing. This is true. The woman could be indeed better than the man.
Right.
But if you're looking at it objectively speaking, if you pick a man, you're more likely to pick a better pilot because there's more of them to pick from. You see what I'm saying? There's a bigger pool of men pilot. Like, put it this way, yeah? How does China dominate in the Olympics? There's a bigger pool of people to pick from to go to the Olympics. There's a bigger pool. So if there's a bigger pool of men who are pilots and a smaller pool of women, if you pick one woman and one of the men, there's more likely that one of those men has a lot of experience compared to the women.
Okay, so using the China reference, right? This is funny because obviously in China, they have a problem with women in their country. There's a lot more men than women in their country compared to like in America, where it's the opposite.
Yeah.
But in China wins a lot of rings. They typically, or medals, they're typically like second behind the USA or Russia or something like that. But when you look at all the sports that wins, it's the women-dominated sports that wins all the medals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but okay, again, wait, back to that question. It's rooted in sexism, regardless, like how it's framed. It's framed as sexism. It doesn't matter about when you walk.
If you pick a woman, you're still sexist.
No, there's no. Like the question is sexist. Is what? Yes, is that? But the question.
Well,
is
there
sexist.
you go. But the question is sexist, so you have to pick someone. So if you pick the woman, you're sexist. If you pick the man, you're sexist. So it doesn't matter what you pick. You just have to pick what you prefer.
No, but yes, and he just brought up the scenario, and he chose men because there's more men pilots. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't determine experience. Just because. So basically, what he's saying. Basically, all he's saying is you go to a plane. And you see a woman, if you get to choose who you want, a woman or a male pilot, you're going to choose a male just because there's more male pilots. That doesn't make any sense because that has nothing to do with those two pilots presenting to you, male or female.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. The woman could be better than the man, but on the odds alone, the likelihood of you finding a good male pilot will be higher.
No, the likelihood of you finding a male pilot is higher.
Because
look, good or bad is not into the equation.
No. Yes, it is. Because look at this. Because if you look at it, there's more older pilots than younger pilots. You understand? Okay. There's more older pilots than younger pilots. So if there's more older pilots than younger pilots, there's going to be a larger pool of men, older men to pick from.
Who's to say that for the women pilots, there's not more of?
It's same. It's exactly the same. There's more older. Yes, but again,
no, I'm saying like the majority of those women who are pilots, who's to say they're not like the older ones?
Put it this way:
they make up the higher age.
No, put it this way: I don't know. It's hard to explain this without like imagery or like an actual picture. Because again, like let's say there's 10 balls in a bag, 10 marbles in a bag. Mm-hmm. 4 of them are blue. 5 of them, let's see, 6 of them are black. If you now increase that bag, that pool, you would inevitably have less. If you're talking about experience, since there's more older male pilots, there will be inevitably more of them than there are the younger pilots.
Regardless of how this goes, the reason why he got canceled is he had talks like that rooted in sexism.
Yes, but life, again, this is what I'm saying. People don't understand that when people sit there and pretend men and women are the same, that's the fundamental problem. It's like people sit there and pretend men and women are the same when they are not the same biologically, physiologically. That's the issue. We have faster response times. That's fact.
To what?
To anything, period. Look at Formula One, yeah? The last Formula One female driver was back in the 80s or 70s.
That can't be true. I've definitely seen Formula One.
Google it right now. Google it. The last female driver, Formula One, who actually won points in a race was back then. There's no sex put on Formula One drivers. No sex put on Formula One drivers. And the most recent woman was 2015. What's her name? Thingy's wife, Toto Wolff's wife. I don't think Susie's Wolff. She was the last test driver for Williams, female driver. So you're telling me in this span of time, only one woman was able to score points in a Formula One race? I think if men and women can compete the same on the level of reaction time, because Formula One
definitely can. That I think all it is that more men are just into Formula One racing.
But or want to do that as just into being pilots. That's what it comes down to. More men are into things that involve things. Pilots, driving boats, driving cars. More men are into those jobs.
But that doesn't mean
into social work.
It doesn't mean a woman can't do it though.
No one ever said a woman can't do it.
Right.
Just on odds alone. Andrew, this was saying, people always think Andrew's he's almost sexist because he looks at the world through a almost more analytical sense than most would. Same with the driving thing. If you look at the driving thing, the majority of people who pass their tests first time are male. Male drivers are more likely to pass their test first time than female drivers. If you look at insurance rates, though, women have better insurance than men, but there's far fewer female drivers than there are male drivers. So if there are more male drivers,
the reason why the insurance rates are higher than men because men are more reckless drivers than females.
No, 100%. But in order
to get more like deadly crashes than women.
In order to garner the skill necessary,
I don't think it's about numbers of drivers though.
No, but again, if there's put it this way, yeah. If you have less drivers on the road of a certain sex, if they all don't commit accidents, then the insurance rate for that sex is low. But if you have a larger pool, the likelihood for them to commit accidents is higher. So hence the insurance rates go up.
If it was equal, women's rates would still be lower because they have way less deadly crashes.
Yes, it would still be lower, but not by much.
Someone in my chat wants to know what you're eating.
I'm so sorry. I just had to. The hunger.
No, they're just curious. They're just curious.
Hold on. It's called PhD Smart Bars.
There you go. PhD Smart Bars.
I'm telling you, these things, man. You go gym. These are the ones. These are the life force.
Maybe he knows about it.
100%. I've got someone here who wants to ask you a question. Another person was in the chat here. I'm gonna add them to the stream for like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And they can take over, and you can have a chat with them.
Right.
Mystic Moose, take it away.
What's up, man?
Yo.
No.
Can you hear me? Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to sort out my mic.
We can hear you.
Hold on.
Sound like you just woke up. What the fuck? Anyway, this is good convo, Sensei, please. I actually appreciate this, man.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it too. It's good convo.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold on. Give me 1 second.
You're killing the quality, Mystic.
One second.
I'm about to kick you out. You're trifling ass. What's going on, man? Oh my gosh.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
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 Go on, take over. What questions do you have for Sensei?
Hear me? Hello.
We can hear you, bro.
I guess he can't hear us.
I guess you can hear us. Technical difficulties. Actually, you know what? We actually answered organically some of the questions we had on the list, like the state of masculinity. We answered that. But yeah, that's actually crazy, you know. Anyway, Mystic. Oh, he's actually back. Anyway, when he comes back, we'll get to him. But
Yeah,
I just want to ask this.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
I cannot hear you guys. That's the thing. Hold on. I can't hear you guys. So give me 1 second.
That's
go to
yeah,
your
it's been a good debate. If you can hear me, it's been a good debate so far.
All right, that's good, man.
I've been liking the information being dropped. Sensei, you're doing bits, man. I hear it. A couple questions.
Yeah. Okay.
1 sec. Yeah, I can't hear you guys, but I can see the lips moving. It's fine.
Okay. Well, while we wait,
give me 2 seconds. Continue on. Give me 2 seconds.
You can't even hear me. What am I saying? Anyway, so let's just jump on this real quick. What do you think the ban on Andrew was justified?
I don't know why he was exactly banned. Me personally, I don't like censorship. So if it was off of the things he's been saying, then no, it's not justified of a ban. But I don't know the reason why he was banned. If there's an actual legit reason as to why, spreading some type of misinformation or doing anything of those sorts.
No. There was no
or
legit
if
reason.
breaking any type of TOS, like terms of service, then yeah, sure, if it's justified. But if he wasn't breaking any terms of service, then no, I don't think him being banned.
He was categorized as a dangerous individual on Instagram, especially, and Meta.
I mean, I think his talks are very dangerous for kids. I think if anything, removed him from like the algorithm for people at a certain age group.
So who do you think that job should fall down to?
That falls into those sites. Yeah, those sites for
the social media companies or the parents of those kids.
The social media companies for algorithm sakes. I mean,
so you don't think the parents bear any responsibility?
The parents bear responsibilities too. Like my little brother's not going to get into an entertainment video, but
so you don't.
He promotes like mass production of his videos. So there's a lot of bot-like people who just post his clips on TikTok.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
TikTok has a crazy algorithm, so like that's just probably just going to get force-fed into a kid's feed. I think maybe if they see him as a dangerous individual for what he speaks on, at least don't allow kids to watch him. So like they can use their power, their site algorithmically to not like how like YouTube got the feature to like if a video is not made for kids, so it doesn't go into like a kid's feed, then that's okay. But then
he got banned off YouTube as well. So
yeah, I don't know why. So
that's what I'm saying. Like it seems a bit. Again, this is the hypocritical nature of the beast, as it says. Whereas there's, again, not to bring it back to men and women, but we have to bring it back to men and women. But in the sense that you have women obviously online talking about men ain't shit, talking about men are just we use men for our benefit. We are independent of men, but we only use them when we need to for sex, and obviously having things like that. No, 100%. But when someone who becomes popular as a man is saying obviously similar takes to that, not all the way similar because it's not obviously just saying use women for sex, he gets cancelled.
Fresh and Fit is still available.
No, 100%. But that's what I'm saying.
So it's like, is it really that? Is it
No, but
really the
that's the
talking
same.
point?
So why was he canceled if Fresh and Fit still say the same thing and they're not canceled?
That's what we need to know. I don't know why he's canceled.
See, that's what I'm saying. The
'Cause, I mean-
inconsistency to me doesn't make sense. Like, if you're gonna ban people, just ban everyone. Just ban everyone. When you had Cardi B out here, I'm pretty sure you've seen the clip of her live where she was talking about how she robbed and drugged men who were interested in her.
I mean, that's those men's fault. You get into a stripper, that's what happens. That's how I feel.
That's true. That is 100% true. That's their fault. They bear responsibility. But at the same time, no one's banning or calling for the ban of, her for using men and stealing from them and, abusing them and whatnot. Obviously, I have no sympathy for those guys.
Well,
but it just seems a bit contradictory to how things are going on. Like, you have different standards for different celebrities, because Cardi B has the same influence on women that Andrew Tate has on guys. If you want to quantify it, she was at some point she was the biggest female rapper in the world. Yeah. So she has equal to the same influence, but obviously she was allowed to, to skirt away with this because people don't have that much invested in canceling Cardi B. Men,
you gotta also think about what is being said into the relation and the context of the time. Like, I see a lot of Andrew Tate fans get mad at KSI, bring up his old things.
Oh,
during that time when KSI made these remarks, it was, I would say, more acceptable of jokes, it was a whole different era, different time. If KSI made those same jokes now, KSI would be banned just like Andrew Tate.
But the same jokes being leveraged on Andrew Tate, the majority of them, where people are saying, oh, he said he beat women and choked them out. Those jokes were made 5-6 years ago.
But he wants people to mass produce his content. That's a part of his hustle university.
Oh,
those people mass produce his content, they get paid, and he gets the recognition from it. Like, he gets the notoriety. His name is more out there. He gets the billions of plays. So with his content being constantly pushed out, that's going to be the cause and effect of that.
I did some due diligence, and I actually bought this course. I've never bought a course in my life, but I said, you know what? Fuck it. There's so much controversy on this course. Let me see what is up with this Hustlers University.
Okay.
Is it really the scheme that the people are saying it is? Is it the pyramid scheme people are saying it is? Is it this multi-level marketing? Is it Okay. So I signed up for it.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, lies. If you look at it, the MLM part, the affiliate marketing part, is a small portion.
So there is some multi-level marketing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. No. So, put it this way.
Okay.
There's actually the majority of people in Hustlers University are not doing that. The majority of people in Hustlers University are actually in the other rooms, say copywriting, e-commerce, stock trading, crypto trading.
Okay, let me ask you this. I know that you have all that. Did Hustle University help you make any extra money?
Yes.
And if you don't mind me asking, how so?
I bought a house recently. Thank you, Hustle University.
That's nice. Congrats. But what did you do to get to that point? To buy
stocks and crypto.
So from their stock and crypto courses, you were able to make a good enough money to.
Again, this is what people don't understand about Hustle University. The information on Hustle University is not new or anything innovative. You can find this information online anywhere.
Right, exactly why it's a fraud.
No, but the difference is time management. If you as an individual do not have time to go out there, curate content, look through millions of videos of how to do this, how to do that, and see which sources are valid, which sources are not valid, spend the time to curate and find the content that, okay, this works, try it, trial and error. If you don't have the time to go through that painstaking process of learning these things, Hustlers University mediates all that stress and puts everything in an easily digestible manner, process by process, things you need to learn about a certain industry, let's say e-commerce or copywriting. Step 1, this is the first thing you need to understand. Step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, all the way down. And at each point, they tell you, okay, at this point now you can start outreaching to customers. At this point now you can start using these type of methodologies. At this point, they detail it to you in such a way that it makes it something that could have taken you a year, 2 years to learn and understand to the point where you can actually get a client, could take you a month, 2 months to learn and to understand how to produce a product for a client in terms of copyright and how to advertise on behalf of the client. So it's just the condensation of information to allow people to be more effective with their time. And this is the thing. If I don't understand why it's such a revolutionary concept, because at school, things you learn in school, you can learn online easily. People who go to college and university, you can learn that shit online.
100%.
But the only reason you have to go to university and college is they just tell you, if you don't have that degree or that master's or that PhD, you can apply it to a job with us.
I agree.
Forcing you into a system where you could, if you had the drive and the willingness to take that time for yourself to learn that shit in your own time. So it's a forced system, whereas Hustlers University just delineates the information like a university, puts the information in an easy digestible manner, and you can attack it at your own pace. And if you have the will and the strive to succeed, it's like that. You can succeed. It's not easy. Follow the steps, you win.
So are you still in the course now? Still pay the $50 a month?
Still pay the $50 a month.
Still pay the $50 a month.
Again, this is money I would have spent at a cinema. Don't miss it. Miss one movie a month. Who cares? It is what it is. I got to make, again, this is just my amount of money I made off Hustlers Meet. That helped me buy this house. Because before, the amount of money I was making, I had 2 jobs. So I was working my finance job, whatever, earning good money, may I say. But also I had a social job. I was working in a restaurant one of my friends owns. And it's a high-class restaurant. The tips on there, I'd walk away with like $200 a night just out of tips. So that was like my extra money. So whenever this whole thing was happening with Andrew Tate blowing up and all this stuff, I was like, you know what, let me see if I can actually, I was looking to diversify, get a new skill. So I said, let me look into this, see if it can offer me any value. So I looked into it, found copywriting, learned a lot of that, and found the crypto and the trading and freelance, which is basically advertising your content. And the thing is with Hustlers University that people don't understand is all the things you learn intertwine. So while you learn how to copyright, you can become a self-advertiser. You can become a self-advertising machine. So if you learn to copyright for yourself, you can learn how to freelance for yourself. Once you learn to freelance, let's say you have an editing skill, how to edit videos. Once you learn how to copyright, you can effectively promote yourself and spread your course or your whatever, your message, your availability to the market so they can, get more opportunities. So all these skills intertwine. So if you make money off, let's say your copywriting, all this other stuff, you can now funnel that money into your freelancing, into buying better equipment for yourself, or funnel that money into crypto, or better yet, into e-commerce and start making big bucks. So again, when people always say, oh, it's a scam, I'm like, did you really sit down? Like, it's $50. If you don't want to spend $50 to find out, that's fair enough. But don't then sit there and say and just echo what the masses echo if you have not tried it yourself. And again, people say, oh, but I can find this information. Yes, you can. But in the way it's aligned, the way it's delivered to you, easy to digest manner. It's like, to be honest, it's easier than the stuff I learned in school, believe it or not. And I was shocked.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's easier in school. A lot of things online is a lot
100%.
easier to digest in school. They cut out the fat of the bullshit. So I can agree with that. And you know what? Congrats to you for getting your house off of earning money off of that. I'm actually surprised. I can tell you, I am actually surprised.
I was actually at my house getting it ready, set up for me to move in next week.
That's dope. Congrats to you, man.
Big facts. Let's see if Mystic is actually about it. Mystic?
Yo.
Can you hear us now, yeah?
Yeah, I hear loud and clear. Is that echo on my side?
No, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect.
It is on your side, but you're good.
Just like small.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you guys loud. There's an echo on my side?
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, it's like
just a little bit. Go on.
Okay. Yes, I'm not in my. If I was at home, it would be fine. But it's fine.
Any questions?
Let's say, my guy. I just wanted to ask you a few questions, like just in the sense of, I wanted to go back to the point where it was the pilot of the airplane and all of that stuff, and I was just thinking to myself, like, from what point are you coming from that argument in the sense of, do you think that like men and women are the same? Like, do you think men and women are the same, like blanket across the board? We're the same.
Yeah, if they're both pilots and they both got the licensing to be the pilots, they're definitely the same. I think that question is rooted in misogyny because if they're both pilots, why does it matter if it's a woman or a male?
But when it comes to, I think so. This is again, it's like knowing about context. So he was asking that in the sense of like knowing, like he was saying, you're heading into danger, for example, and in the specific danger, it's like you're heading into a hurricane. Who would cope? What pilot would you prefer, a male or a female? And then again, if you delve deeper into that question, what he's really asking is that what he's really saying is that look, men and women, we have different skill sets, we have different traits, we thrive in different situations. Hence, he also backed that same analogy up with where would you be most like, where would you more likely to leave, for example, your child. If you saw like a
Come again?
It's breaking up now.
Wait, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. Are you walking around or something?
Not even. Do you know what it is? It's where I am.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really.
Do you wanna type out your question or something? Type out your question and then
May have to,
because the quality is actually it's killing. It's killing.
I think I somewhat get where you were trying to get at, though. You're basically saying, men and women have different. I guess you said skill
like we have
traits.
different affinities. We have different affinities. It's not saying that you can't. It's not saying that.
That's fair to say, but if they're both, if a man and a woman is a pilot, they're both a pilot. They have the same abilities. I don't think a male pilot can do any more than a female pilot. They're both a pilot.
But they inherently have more biological advantages.
That's what I mean.
What's the biological advantage when you're steering a plane? Though I don't understand.
So there's
all you need is focus.
No, really. But more strength. No, you need more than focus. You need one of our friends actually becoming a pilot, Vincent. So you need to actually have some level of strength. Believe it or not, in emergency situation, when you need to pull that airplane back, you need some level of strength. You also need obviously quick reflexes, acute sense of what you need to do in the situation. So low levels of panic. But in terms of like whenever people obviously train to be pilots, they train in a safe situation. No one ever trains in a dangerous situation. So whenever you end up in that situation, you tend to see who thrives more under pressure, men or women. That's the key.
But see,
who takes so if you look at it this way, women, again, statistically proven, women tend to take more holidays than men. Why? Because again, they tend to want more leisure, more pressure off the job. They want to take more time to spend with their family and do all these other things. Work is not really like, there's obviously women who are out there, top business women, work all day. But the majority of women, like even in my field, believe it or not, the most complaints I hear about the job are from women, not men. The most complaints about, oh, this is tough, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. It's women, not men. And funny fact, I was on a team with all women, only man. At the end of the project we were doing, the manager came back to me and said, King, you're the only one who did not complain once when doing this project. All the other people in this group, all the other girls,
so.
Oh, dude, first that.
Yeah, it's just based on you. And back to the plane thing. Again, you saying that a man can operate better under pressure with a plane, I think is still rooted in misogyny. And I think that's the issue when we ask these type of questions.
So you think it's rooted in hatred? I'm
not saying hatred, but misogyny.
But that's misogyny,
a man could do an equal job better than a woman. There's two pilots. They're both a pilot for a reason.
But we do. But again, like we have to acknowledge these biological facts, bro. Like we some things
a
we are
biological fact is not, or if a biological fact is not going to play a major factor in controlling or a plane a bad plane situation.
Fair enough. I disagree, but okay. Good. I mean, can you explain your rationale behind that? why it wouldn't play a part. Like knowing that we react calmer in certain situations, like under pressure and stress, knowing you have faster reaction times, we're most likely to keep our cool, less likely to lose our head in certain situations.
These faster reaction times you speak of is like milliseconds. They're not like
milliseconds.
The milliseconds will save your life.
But again, on the bell curve, if you look at the bell
But
curve,
on the
this is why again, because I've looked at the data on this. If you look at the bell curve, men again tend to be on the high end.
Either or.
So they tend to be the best and sometimes the worst.
Or the worst.
So in terms of like flying airplanes or whatever we're talking about, reaction times or whatever, men have statistically the edge. You can look at this in anything, even in chess. A game I recently picked up. Thank you, Andrew Tate. A game I recently picked up. If you look at the top 10 chess players ever, oh man, and that's all just thinking, all just processing.
Again, and I don't think it's more of a thinking thing. It's just what more people are interested in. Women are probably less likely to be interested in chess than men.
Even the smartest people in the world, yeah. I remember Andrew Tate got flack for this whenever he was on the podcast. What was it called? Barstools, whatever, with that one guy. I don't know his name, but whenever he said, that's the guy. When he said men tend to be smarter than women on average.
I don't know about that.
They tend to be the smartest people. Sorry, are men. That was wrong of me to say that.
Okay. But women they tend to be the dumbest on average,
but they tend to be the dumbest. Yeah, but the smartest people tend to be men. And again, Dave Portnoy only took the smartest person on earth. He typed that in. Boom. Oh, it's a woman. Okay, cool. But if you look at all the other people in that list,
men.
85% of them were men. And that's the point. These small things, even though
now,
I think
y'all don't think that. Wait, hold on. Before you continue, I'm gonna stop you right there. Y'all don't think that is because we've had a foot forward in being more advanced thinking than women, because for a long time these women were at home not doing much of anything because of the traditional societal standards. If a woman's gonna stay a traditionalist, how often are you going to see a traditional woman who cooks and cleans and provides at the home for a husband to be a top genius of the world? But this is the thing. But listen to this.
Why was that though? We lived in times, again, obviously recent times. This is way.
Misogyny.
Let's take it all the way back. No, it's not even misogyny. Again, if you look at people in third world countries, especially my country, Africa, like Zambia, where I come from, in Africa, most people adhere to traditional lifestyles because it's the most optimum way to raise a family.
I think people just don't want to evolve with times.
No, because you can't cover all the bases. You can't cover, like in those poor. You can't cover all the bases. You can't have someone. You can't pay for no nanny. You can't have no one to take care of the kids if the man is gone off or the woman's gone off. You can't. So you have to delineate the services to the people who are most capable. So you delineate the work to the men because they can stay out for longer hours, work, and the women will take care of the kids.
But in more advanced countries or countries more established in their ways, women can do just as much as men can.
That's what's happening now.
In every aspect.
But that's what's happening now. But you still don't see the same representation across all fields. So women only complain about getting into the fields that are very cozy and cushy. You don't see them complaining about getting into the fields that are messy and dangerous.
I don't see sanitation. I don't see female sanitation engineers.
No, you see them, but you don't see them in mass the way they try to flock to the cushy office jobs.
Well, women are just now getting ingratiated to the workforce compared to men who've been doing it for a while. And again, it's more so an interest as well. I was just about to get to that. Men are more interested in working on like a car than a woman is, but that doesn't mean a woman can do it just as well as a man.
So you're acknowledging we're different,
100%.
and we're into different things.
But if you're tying it back to like the pilot analogy, a woman pilot and a male pilot, there's typically no difference in between the two.
When it comes to ability in flying.
Yeah.
If you were to test again, it's like a case of if you were to test the upper limit of a pilot to get the best pilot, for example, do you think it's a male or female that's most likely to win that? That's what I'm saying.
Wait, repeat that. I'm sorry.
So, like, for example,
saying, if you take the top 10% of pilots, are the majority going to be men or women?
Men. Well, y'all also said that more pilots are men. So if you take the top 10%, the
But
majority
that doesn't matter because
statistic.
it doesn't matter about number. Because again, it will come to the fact of pure skill. It would, like you said, it would take. It doesn't matter if it's male or female anymore. It now matters about your skill.
Your skill.
So what do you be testing?
Wait, also, what makes a top pilot? I mean, all you do is fly from point A to point B. I mean,
Okay, it could be a race driver. It could be a race driver. It could be a race driver. Take race.
Yeah, or like fighter pilot. You know what I mean? Like pilots who have to fly in strenuous situations. Obviously, those are elite pilots. They can fly normal planes, and they can also fly these fighter jet type planes. You know, think Top Gun. On that Top Gun team, there's only one woman, if I recall.
Sure, and for what it's worth, though, but also it's like this. Would that woman, even if she did the equal work as a man in that field, would she get the same amount of recognition if they did equally as good as the top man?
If not, she would get more. If not, she would get more.
She would.
Be honest.
I'd beg to differ. I think it'd be depending on the industry. Now, if it's like a fashion, like modeling, a woman would probably be more propped up in that industry than a man. I think it also depends on the industry.
No, but you see what? I think it might not even be propped up genuinely. It might even be propped up due to just virtue signaling. Even though the man might not want to prop her up, they might just do it so they feel like we're also propping up women in our industry. So look at us. You know what I mean?
But do you know what tends to happen when you do that? It's overcompensation, and then that's like, if that makes sense. So it's like it would be a case of, if she were the best pilot, let's say if she was the top 5, they would harp on about it even more. Like making sure that we know, okay, look, this female pilot is one of the best fighter pilots in the world. See, women can do it, and there's nothing.
I don't know if that's overcompensation or showing praise, or maybe even acknowledging that there has been a shift in times.
Oh no, there has been. I don't see
a problem with that.
There's been a shift. There's been a shift. There's no problem with the shift. There's been a shift, and there is no.
This is the thing. I think the shift have just made it harder for men. And that's okay. I don't really care for their struggles.
Right. Yeah. I don't care about a man's struggle.
Make it harder. Who cares? But now they realize that they have to level up in order to get the same, let's say, levels of opportunity with even the opposite sex that they would have had, that they could have got back in the 2000s before the advent of this social media technology or whatever. So now men realize, oh snap, I have to actually level up and become somebody or become competent in something. So hence they move to people like Andrew Tate, who are competent in a multitude of realms and have displayed that due to the amount of wealth they have and the capabilities they have physically, mentally.
And see, this is where I think it's the problem, because he gives off like very false prophet vibes. He only comes off as competent because of, like, I would say, his financial success. But
originally, man, the dude's history.
Hold on. But he originally only got his financial success from pimping women. That's how it first, came about. And then from there, he started having his preachings. But I think anybody can say the words that he has said. It's because it's very what he says to me is a very common knowledge when it comes to like bettering yourself.
But I like this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, facts, man. But this is the thing though: the message or the messenger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, usually when the message comes from someone who's living that same lifestyle or that same career, it's more believable and more credible. Like, if I'm a fat guy and I'm telling you, bro, you need to get in the gym, like, and you need to start working, and you need to eat less food. And you know what I mean? But then you've got like someone like Andrew Tate, and who's saying the exact same thing, for example, with the money, credibility, he's in shape, 4 times kickboxing world champion. He's telling you to get in the gym, to be more active, and in general, like, just better your lifestyle. Then obviously you're more likely to kind of believe him over just any old, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
This is what I'm saying. Like, who was
I want to answer Sasha's question. She said, "Where did he pimp women? Back it up, or you're lying." When he started the cam service and he had multiple women working for him, doing sex work for 16 hours out of a day, that's when he was pimping women. Yeah, I mean, he has a whole course called Pimping Hoes Degree. You can't deny that he was a pimp.
He was pimping women, yeah, but he wasn't like obviously a pimp in the traditional sense where he was like getting them to have sex with people. He was just getting them to get naked on the camera. But again, same, like a level below the traditional pimp, but he was still pimping women.
This is a random question. I'm just letting you know
100%.
My chat wants to know: do y'all both have your fathers in your lives? I don't know where it's going with this, but
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
My dad,
100.
let me put it this way. My dad is a stoic, classic stoic. Never shows his emotions. He's very firm. He knows what he believes in. He's a straight up man, straight shooter. Doesn't beat about the bush. Says it how it is. And in my whole life, I've only seen him cry once, and that's when his dad died.
Bro, did you just describe my dad? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I want to see what the follow-up question is to that when we get there, because I want to see where it's going with that. But okay.
Yeah, no, my dad is 100% in my life, and he basically, again, I have traditional African values because I was born, raised in Africa. In Africa, it's traditionalism. That's what we do. We don't do none of this. I don't know. It's, we can figure it out. When we get into a relationship, you know what everyone's doing. It's like a job. The jobs that are the most efficient, everybody knows their role and they play it to the best of their ability. That's what happens. That's how businesses function to the best of their ability. Everyone plays their role and they play it well. In a relationship, if everyone comes together, understands this can be communicated between the two of you, and you both communicate and understand, okay, this is, you play this role, I play this role, whatever it can be. The woman could be the leader, I could be the submissive one, I could be the leader, the woman could be the submissive one. Whatever you agree on, as long as you agree those terms and you know how the relationship moves and how this thing operates, then you can be successful. So I think you just have to know.
I think if you want it that way, that's cool, but I don't think all relationships
but you find
that are successful or rooted in that way. I think everything is more nuanced than the black and white. But the most chaotic relationships are the ones where people don't they jostle for positioning. Those are the most chaotic relationships where you can't tell me what to do. I do what I want, or the guy says, "No, fuck you. You gotta stay in line." And the woman's like, "No, I ain't gonna do what you want. I'm independent." Those are the most chaotic relationships because everyone's trying to jostle for power. But if everyone understands. Be it the man says, okay, I am good at this field. Have you seen the Ozark? No, I actually haven't.
Oh, damn it. This is a great time to introduce that.
Wait, you know what? I seen the first episode. I don't know if that ties into it.
Well, I'll give you like a
when it's like I know his family had to like move. Right.
But lightly put, Wendy is she has more of the vision. Marty, the husband, he has the capabilities to help that vision come true. So they work together and they understand their roles and positioning, which allows them to be an effective team. But when their team falls apart, or in the show, when they're most ineffective, is when they don't understand their position and they're trying to jostle for position. Marty's trying to step out and become more of a leader and do his own thing. And then she's like, no, come back here. We need to do this. And then they start jostling. That causes the friction, that causes the drama, that causes the show.
Yeah,
but the moments of brilliance in the show, true. But the moments of brilliance in the show are the ones where people understand their position. And that's my point. My point is, man or woman, someone has to be in the more firm person. You know what I mean? You can't all be on like equal footing. It always skews one way, either by 1% or by 2%, by 0.5%, but it always has to skew one way or the other. That's how I see it. But again, that's more traditionalist view because I grew up traditional. But yeah. Any more questions?
No, man.
I'm literally gonna disappear, bro. It's been
cool. We're about to 100%. We're about to wrap this up.
Yeah, man. I think it's time to wrap it up. It's been a good
Sensei, you gotta come on our pod like more often, my G. It's been lit.
I'll be willing to. I had a great time discussing with y'all. Man. I know. I like how.
No, you're a real one, man. Literally, like, you kept the calm heads, level-headed, open to discussion. That's what you want. Open discourse. It's fine, bro. Bro, I love to hear people's different perspectives.
Me too.
And it's fine to have a different opinion.
Maybe next time we could talk politics if y'all are into
politics. Yeah.
Okay. Bro, I'm not really I'm not really like majoring politics, but I'm happy to learn a few things. Like that's my thing. I'm good to learn, so no problem. Yeah, what live conservative is that you? Yeah? Liberal versus conservative. Which side?
I would say I would consider myself what you would call a progressive. I don't like the word liberal. If you want to know the best aligns with my beliefs, I don't know if this will work for y'all because y'all are overseas. But if y'all look up like the Black Panther Party, I'm more like that. Like I would say, ideology wise, I'm more liberal. But like as a sense, I believe in carrying a gun, stuff like that. There's a couple of conservative things, but more so than anything, I'm more liberal in my societal approach.
Oh, that's fair
Okay,
enough, man.
fair enough. No, again,
No one in cohesive
happy
society, so that's
happy
good,
to have
man.
you on. Yeah, happy to have
And
you
again,
on.
I think we agree on a lot of points in terms of I think it's just I personally am more of as long as
Appreciate it,
everyone
Hellos.
understands, as long as everyone understands the terms and conditions of the relationship, that relationship can look like anything you want it to be, and people should not be afraid to ask for the relationship they want and just settle for the relationship that they get. That's pretty much the message.
Wait, they're settling. Never settle.
Yeah,
Never.
don't settle for the relationship because it's the best you're gonna do. Try and become the
Yeah,
best yourself so you can get what you actually want in life instead of just being like, oh, okay, I guess this is the best I can do. But anyway,
I mean, I was gonna
here.
say, like, when it comes to the relation, even then, when it comes to the relationship, I think communication. This is where communication is very fundamental.
100%.
Like, you
And that's
cannot
what we
be
all agree.
expecting. You can't be expecting your partner to adhere to certain standards that you have, which you have not communicated. You haven't given them the chance to say, actually, you know what? I don't agree with that point.
Yeah.
Are you open to compromise? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's always that option. It's not a hard and fast, oh, I don't want you to go to the club and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Usually, it's more a case of you'll see these behavior patterns and traits like way before, and you'll be able to address them then and there. And you might even just drop it in the subtle and say, hey, look, you know what? The type of person I'm trying to settle down with, I actually don't find them in clubs. I usually find them in, another location, like coffee shop, library, that kind of
And
stuff.
if they're for the club, then that girl's not for you, and you move on.
Exactly, and you have your own standards. But it's what I think the main thing, the conversation topic that definitely we should have next time is a case of like, why is it okay for women to set standards, and then they're like gassed up for it? For example, like, they don't want a dude who's under 6 foot. They don't want a dude who's fat. He has to earn a certain type of money. Whereas when I say, or is it like, men in general, and we say, hey, look, you know what? I actually want a woman who's in the gym, in shape, not overweight. I
don't think there's anything wrong with either.
Exactly, but bro, listen. I've said this I've said this in real life to people, and bro, they're not ready for that conversation. They're not ready, and I just laugh. I laugh at stepping, but it's fun. It's fun to talk about, and you know what? It's one of those where I think we're gonna have more of these conversations because essentially people are waking up. People are waking up, and they're like, actually, you know what? That's true. Like, why are we not allowed to say this and they're allowed to say that? Like it's about time. So,
well, I guess we'll see. Again, I'm not upset with the world. Is the world?
I'm not upset.
It is.
I'm not upset.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I enjoy the progression. I enjoy everything that's happening in the West, and all that just says to me is, if you want to, to have certain standards and them be tolerated, you have to upgrade yourself or articulate yourself in such a way where you find someone on the same wavelength as you without having to, lie, cheat.
That's what I'm saying.
All this
nonsense. That's what I'm saying. There's someone out there for everybody, man. In the sense 100%. That Sensei, like you were saying, like the type of woman can I ask if you're in a relationship now?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship.
So exactly. So I'm guessing the type of woman you're with right now is like within your she basically fits your standards, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing which she's doing currently which you're kind of holding inside yourself and building up resentment for, right? Because you don't want to say it.
No,
exactly.
I'm a different. I think that's more the individual though. If there was something inside of me, like if she's doing something that's wrong, I would bring it to her.
There you go.
So
the behavior that Andrew Tate is combating is the one where the guy will see her like doing a behavior which he doesn't even like. It doesn't need to be going to the club. It could be as minor as like leaving the door open or something. I don't even know, like something minor, and you're afraid to mention it to her because of the way she'll react. And it's that kind of behavior he's kind of trying to combat.
Yeah, he's basically trying to take out. Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy.
I agree with that messaging.
Yeah. So don't be afraid and be how do you say, like,
so we can conclude. We can conclude on this point, guys.
We can conclude.
Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy. Also, stop idolizing people too. I would say don't idolize others.
There you go. Putting women on the pedestal. Putting women on the pedestal is crazy.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit crazy.
And men too. But it is what it is.
Well, thank you very much, Sensei Quiz. Thank you very much, Mystic, for coming in on that last one there. I appreciate it, guys, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Till then,
peace.
100.
Peace.
Take it easy, my G's. Yeah, man.